David Moyes has declared that there is a contract on the table for him if he wants to take it to extend his stay in East London. But he responded by saying he's going to wait until the end of the season to assess his options or make his final decision. Of course, as well, we're going to discuss the news that he discovered about Lucas Paqueta and how he is in contention to be back involved for our game against Brentford on Monday, as well as the Europa League draw happened today, and we're going back to Freiburg in Germany for the last 16. So there's plenty to get through. Plenty has happened today, and Mike is here to digest it all with me. Mike, how are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Hello to everybody that is joining us live. Should we start with, we'll start with the Europe draw, because that was this morning. We'll go in chronological order through the day. Listen, I was sat there during a lesson just watching the draw, and I see the longer it went on, the longer AC Milan were there, the longer West Ham was still in it. I was getting a bit nervous. I'm like, here we go. It's written in the stars here. And then out popped Freiburg, and it was a nice, happy surprise, actually. Listen, it's not the most thrilling draw, but the chances are it's probably our best chance to get through to the next round. What do you make of it, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, it's a chance for us to progress, I think. A good chance for us to progress. But, hey, we've got to start playing a lot better than we have done in recent weeks. But, yeah, it gives us a really good chance. I mean, there's a few big teams up against each other, and we've missed out some of the real huge ones. I know. I don't think it was possible for us to play Liverpool, was it? I don't think we could. No. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a chance for us to progress. It's a bit boring playing the same team again, I know. But, hey, beggars can't be choosers, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when I looked down as they were messing around chatting about it before the draw actually took place this morning, you know, they put up the teams that we could play, and the stature and quality of the teams have increased since we've last been in the competition. I think there's no doubt about that. You know, there wasn't any sort of AC Milan or Roma in contention when we were in the competition a couple of years ago. So that's enhanced, that's improved. And I think on paper, we've got to look at it as one of the best opportunities out of the teams we could have played to progress through. We've already beaten 2-1 and 2-0 so far this season. And yeah, away from home was a bit of a slog, but I thought we were quite comfortable at home against them just before Christmas. And look, we've got to take it as the confidence of we've already beat them and we can do it again over two legs.
Yeah, definitely, mate. You know, we do need one player back, which we'll probably talk about in a minute. Most definitely to give us a chance.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know, the way we've got to look at it is we've been in an awful run of form. There's no doubt about that. But we've avoided the big teams that we may well get if we progress through. And you know, that's not me taking for granted the tie that we've been given here. But look, as I said, on paper, when you look at it, it's one of our best opportunities, one of the best options that we could have had to go through. So I'm quite happy about it. For the away contingent, it's a bit of a nightmare to get to, so they're not best pleased about it. But I'm sure they will work out. I see who is joining us in the chat. Our resident Spurs fan, Bowlesy. I'm David, and I'm staying till the end of my contract. That's all I've got to say. Bonjour, Bowlesy. Thank you for joining us. Football with Brownie. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining us, mate. Wasim as well. Hope you are well. He's happy with the Europa draw as we've beaten him in the past. And listen, that's the narrative, and that's the point that we've got to continue with this. And we played the first leg away from home, which means we play the second leg at home. Now we'll discuss the kickoff time in a minute, Mike, but that in itself is a plus that we've got the second leg at home despite the kickoff time. That's a positive, and we did that against Seville. We got through. Whenever we play the second leg at home, we tend to be better.
Yeah, I think it gives you a chance when you go away from home to think, right, as long as we don't lose this game, you know, we've got a good chance to win it at home. So, you know, to be totally honest, I don't think it makes a hell of a lot of difference. I've got to be totally honest. We played Freiburg before. We know all about them. We beat them. We beat them twice. I mean, at the end of the day, Jake, it is better to play the second one at home. So if we could have chose that, I would have taken that, definitely.
Absolutely. And of course, the debacle of the kickoff time has unfolded in the last couple of hours or so, which has just exploded into ranting on Twitter. Now, look, it's usually the away leg that's played away because it gives an extra hour. Because typically, with the European countries, they're an hour, an hour in front. So a 5:45 is a 6:45, which we can cope with. But look, we've been given the 5:45 kickoff, which is the first time we've had that at home in the knockouts of Europe, which I think is utterly crap, to be honest with you. Now, it means everyone's going to get home a bit earlier, but it means, the reality of it is, it means some people won't get there at all because they haven't, because they can't get time off work, or they won't get there in time and it won't be worth it, which I think unfortunately might detract from the occasion and probably detract from the attendance, Mike, which is a big, big shame, because in that second leg, we want to get behind them. We want that place rocking, and we want it to be a proper European night. And I think that prevents it a little bit, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, people got to get time off work. It's an absolute nightmare. I just saw it and I thought, oh my God, I was definitely going to go, but now I really don't know. But it means me taking a whole day off work, basically.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
Another one. And I mean, it's a week where we got 2 other games. I mean, it's important to get a big crowd there, but this really blunts the chance of getting a massive crowd there.
It doesn't help.
It's ridiculous in my mind, it's just all about TV again, isn't it? Full stop.
Yeah, now look, they try and spread them over the 5:45 and the 8 o'clock kickoff times, which is understandable, but they've got to take these things into consideration. Rangers are in the same boat. Their home tie is also 5:45. I think they've got Benfica, and their fans are going through the same issues. I think Liverpool and Brighton have got the 8 o'clocks, so they're fine. But this is the first time it's happened to us. It's unfortunate, but let's hope it doesn't happen again. Whether I don't think we can appeal it. Listen, they're not going to change it. But what's done is done, and it's just a massive inconvenience, especially to people that the week before will be going out to Freiburg, spending all their money there, and then they might have to take another half day off work even to get to the return home leg, which it's just a faff, quite frankly, and it's a faff that we don't need. But look, it's out of our control. We've got to try and work our way around it. It's unfortunate. It's pretty crap, but it is what it is. So overall, Mike, happy with the draw?
Yeah, happy with the draw, mate. I would have took that most definitely. When it came up, I thought, it's not the most interesting of games. It looks those a bit boring playing them again, but we got a decent chance. Realistically, this could be our last game in Europe, because I can't see us getting in there through a league position next year. So I mean, it will be a shame if it sort of peters out, with a stadium half full being our last game. It'd be really nice to get this 1-1 and then try and get a big attractive game for the next one.
Absolutely. The script is being manoeuvred and crafted as I speak. We're going to get through here, Mike. We're going to draw. I don't care who we draw. Either we're either going Rome or Milan. Pizza, pasta. It's happening, my friend. Don't you worry about that. Honestly, West Ham at San Siro, it's what dreams are made of. And against Roma, listen, Italy. I'd happily take Italy, because Mike, pizza and pasta, is that your thing? It's certainly mine.
Yeah, definitely, Jake. Yeah.
Sorted. Done. Robert, thanks for joining us. Fair chance of going through. Yeah, that's the way we've got to look at it at the end of the day. And you listen, as Mike alluded to, it's not the most exciting draw, but it's probably our best opportunity. I didn't want to get cut back because they're the worst side left, and we, the sod's law, just lost to them. So we've got probably like the second worst team left in the competition. That's not being condescending. That's just, the way people are describing it. And listen, I don't watch this team every week, but they're mid-table in the Bundesliga this season. You could argue we're mid-table in the Premier League. We're not ripping up trees by any stretch of the imagination. They'll be looking back at our form since Christmas and be licking their lips undoubtedly, but we know what we can do. We've played them before. We've beaten before. So let's just hope, shall we? Let's see what our resident away day expert Dodsey is here. What in Portugal? Freiburg flight's expensive but booked, and to cap it all off, Moyes gets a new contract. We're going to come on to that in just a second. Rich, I hope you are well. Yeah, I don't blame you for wanting Portugal. Lisbon is a lovely city, so I love that. But yeah, it's expensive and it's a nightmare, isn't it? Where are you flying into, Rich? Is it Basel or Strasbourg? Where are you going into, mate? Then the 21 to play tonight, hopefully. They're doing okay. But yeah, right, we'll come back to the draw. We'll get on to Moyes just a little bit later on, but we'll start with the team news that Moyes alluded to. Of course, we'll go more in depth into this on the preview tomorrow or Sunday night. Of course, I'll tell you what, Mike, before we do that, whoever decided to put us on a Monday night this week needs a pay rise, because they're not going to ruin my weekend, and I'm absolutely loving it.
Yes, mate. I mean,
whoever decided that, fair play to you. Listen, it's an absolute inconvenience for the fans getting there, and it's absolutely crap, but you're not going to ruin my weekend, West Ham, so I'm loving it.
Yeah, it gives us a little bit of a break over the weekend. You don't have to worry about getting up Sunday morning and thinking, oh my God,
here we go again. Like we will 2 weeks' time going to Everton, get in. Yeah. Honestly, you think we're mad getting up at stupid o'clock, go to Everton, Mike, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it with our Moyes out cards. No, we won't. But I think if it I think, we've got this Brentford game. Listen, it says it's sold out on the website, Mike, but if there's more than 50,000 there, I'll be amazed.
Absolutely, yeah, I will. I just cannot see us getting anything. I've watched Brentford the last couple of games, and they're playing with so much more confidence than we are. I don't want to be defeatist, mate, but honestly, we're going to have to up our game a hell of a long way to get anywhere near them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do fear for this game, mate. I really do.
For sure. Freiburg, progress to you guys, surely, hopefully. So Rich is flying over to Basel and then the train to Freiburg. That seems like the most direct route possible. So Rich has gone, he's booked that up, and he's going on his European adventure once again. Yeah, we discussed that a little bit earlier. Home leg 5:45. It is an absolute pain for the fans, 100%. But just in terms of the team news, that's what I was getting on to. Moyes confirmed that Lucas Paqueta is in contention to play this game, which I'm inferring that he's rushing him back, because there hasn't been any suggestion of this coming so soon. We'd heard it had been a couple of weeks from this point on at the very least. But Moyes confirmed he's in contention. He's progressing quite well, and it seems like he may be involved for Monday night. Do you know what? It concerns me, Mike, because I feel like we're going to have a similar situation. We've had loads of these situations in the past, rushing these key players back. They're not fit. They don't do as well. And then they get injured again. It's just a knock-on effect. Wait till the guy's fully fit. He might be fully fit. I don't know. But wait till the guy's fully fit and just ease him back in.
The Bristol City game, he was on that pitch for what, 10 minutes, was it? And we looked like we could batter them 5-0 in the first 10 minutes. I thought, while he was on there, and then as soon as he went off, our season has just imploded.
It has.
We rushed him back, and it's an absolute massive mistake. The season's not totally gone. We could still have some fun in Europe, but we need him. We need him so badly. It's unbelievable. We just cannot seem to, Kudus and Bowen without him are just like having their legs chopped off, just nothing to link it up. And he's that man. And for me, I just would no way risk getting him back.
For sure. Yeah. Less
2 weeks at least, make sure he's right. He's got to be 100% before he comes back.
And if Moyes reads the room a little bit here, I'm going to be honest. If we get anything against Brentford, I'm going to be surprised. If I'm totally honest with you, if we get anything, I'm going to be surprised. That's just where I think we are at this current moment in time. Everything is on the floor. The confidence, the morale, the quality in the side, everything is at rock bottom. If Lucas Paqueta's 70% fit, comes on, plays an hour or plays 40 minutes or whatever, and just tweaks whatever he's done on his knee again, out for another month. Let's just wait until he's fully fit. We've seen this so many times. Listen, I'm only inferring this. He could be fully fit and ready to go, but just got a feeling that he's going to come back. He's not going to be there completely. He's being rushed back, and we're going to see the repercussions of that throughout the rest of the season, because Paqueta is the one player that everybody is banking on our form just, magically coming back. Everyone's banking it on being on Paqueta. And then if he goes out and gets injured again, then we just as well pack it in and not bother. So it's just so crucial that we manage him right and get him back. And listen, we'll know within 10 or 15 minutes of him being on the pitch whether he's fit enough on Monday night if he gets on to start with. But if it was me, if it's sort of 70% there, I'd say listen, let's wait, let's get him fit. Even if he doesn't play the Everton game, or even if he plays a little bit of the Everton game, let's focus on the Europe for me. If he's not fully fit now, forget about it and wait till the European games, because we aren't going to get relegated. Listen, we ain't going to get relegated. And by the tone of David Moyes, it sounds like he's leaving at the end of the season. We'll come on to that in a second. But wouldn't you, Mike, just to ensure his fitness, wait until the most important games, just to ensure that, which are the European games now, which is going to hold our season together?
Let's face it, he's been missing for 8 games and we've been atrocious. Yeah. We've dropped down the league, and I did say the other day, if someone said, would you take 10th? I'd snap someone's hand off for 10th place at the moment, because I'm looking at 3 teams that are playing a whole lot better than what we are right now that are below us. I mean, there's 3 teams down there below us. They're playing so much better than what we are, and probably got better squads than we've got. Yeah. So 10th, I think, is the best we can probably do. But I'd take that for a nice little run in Europe and get a semi-final again, and then you're only one game away from a final. Yeah. I honestly think that there's no way we're getting a European place this year. I cannot see that we can turn that sort of form around. Early part of the season, we've had some great wins, there's no doubt about it. But when's the last time we played really well for 90 minutes? Probably a season ago.
We've nicked results all season, and we all thoroughly enjoyed the victories over the 2 teams in North London in December. The last fully assured performance where I walked away and went, that was brilliant, was probably right in a way back in August. I was so impressed in the way. Yeah, that was a snatch and grab as well, but the way we went about it was just different to the others. I feel where we had a hell of a lot of luck against Arsenal and Spurs. There's no doubt about that. And I felt that result was probably deserved in the way we wanted to play. It was a masterclass of counter-attacking football, which we haven't seen for the rest of the season, unfortunately. That's the only game. Listen, I'm just looking down my fixture list that's on my wall here, and I'm struggling to see a more assured performance than that all season.
I mean, 3-0 against Wolves was
Wolves, that's the only game. Yeah,
Wolves down Paqueta and Kudus really linking up. I mean, Wolves had a lot of the game in that. You can go back to the Bournemouth game where they had more ball than us. The Crystal Palace game, we got draws in those. We had a decent half against Newcastle, but we've not had a decent 90 minutes. Do you know what? The best atmosphere and I can remember, and the best we played is going back to when we beat Liverpool 3-2, and that's probably 2 years ago now.
3 years ago, that is.
Yeah. I mean, joking aside, Jake, we've not really gone out there and dominated a team.
Yeah.
A couple of games last year, maybe we would beat Forest, didn't we, 4-0? And I mean, let's face it, at home, Sheffield United were atrocious.
We weren't too much better, but we got the goals.
Yeah, but it's hard for me to remember where we've actually dominated a team, or even had a proper go at a team. It's wearing the fans down. It really is.
Yeah, let's now naturally progress to the main event of what I want to talk about on today's show. We've done all the little subcategories. Let's talk about the main bit of news today. And do you know what? I was in a couple of lessons this afternoon, so it wasn't actually till I came out after, where I just saw the implosion on social media of what Moyes has said in his pre-match press conference. Now, he usually doesn't say too much interesting in his press conference, so I don't really look over it. But literally everybody put the clip on Twitter and everybody put the quote on Twitter, so it was hard to ignore. And basically, he was asked, as he pretty much is every week. Now, let's get this straight. He's pretty much asked every week about his contract. And up until today, I want to stress this. Up until today, he said, we are having talks. It's going well and all the rest of it. I'm happy and all that. But a bit of the past tense come into his answers today. Now, I don't know whether that was intentional or not, but basically he said the words along the lines of, we're having good conversations with Sullivan and Brady, which he says most weeks. And then he went on to say, there's a contract there on the table if I want it, but I'm going to wait until the end of the season to make my mind up. We've had great success in the past. Words to the line to this, and he just consistently towards the end, and he said we've had success, or we've succeeded in the past, and just his whole body language and tone. Go back and watch it if you haven't already. That just sort of section of the press conference, his tone just struck me as a man that had been defeated, Mike. And I don't know whether it's all caught up with him a little bit, but his tone to me suggested that he's going to walk away off his own back towards the end of the season. Now, I'm no body language or tone expert whatsoever, but that's just what I got from it. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I think he's hedging his bets, Jake, if you ask me. I think he's thinking, let's see how the rest of this season goes. And I think the board's thinking that. And I think he's thinking that as well. You know, let's face it, right? A miracle could happen. We could probably get ourselves up to 7th or 8th in the league, and we could get to the Europa League final. If that happens, I mean, fans are fickle, mate. You know, we've seen it before, haven't we? We've seen Moyes out 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, they're singing Super David Moyes. You know, fans are fickle, and I've seen it over a long time, mate. But I think he's just hedging his bets, seeing how it goes. Let's face it, if you were a manager, you wouldn't want to see signs like up in the stands, would you? You know, wanting people wanting you out. You know, I don't see how you can. You know, I think a manager has got to have some sort of proper relationship with the fans, and I don't think he has. You know, and he knows it, and he knows it as well. And you probably couldn't blame him if he didn't want to stay.
Yeah, and I think he'd probably, you know, through the fan base, he'd collectively be just nudged out the door a little bit from the fans. And do you know what? I do hope a perfect scenario would be we have a modest bit of success through this European campaign. We potter along in the league until the end of the season. It reaches its natural conclusion. Moyes sits down at the end of the season. He does a Pablo Fornals type video. He sits down or he does a statement like Roy Hodgson did last week, and he sits down and goes, "Look, I can recognise that this isn't where the fact, you know, I'm not the future. I recognise that this isn't the position and direction that the club wants to go now, and I've probably taken the club as far as I can, and I'm incredibly proud for that and for what we've achieved. I think we've had a brilliant few years, which you can't deny. You know, we've had some crap over the last few years, but you know, it's been the best time for me as a West Ham fan. And you know, Mike, you're a little bit more experienced than me, so you may not agree with that, but at the end of the day, it has been good. We can't deny that. You know, I can use all of the cliches that the media are using: 6th, 7th, semi-final, won the cup. All of those come out, and I just hope that I think that's the first indication today that things might reach its natural conclusion, because Moyes has been very stiff upper lip and went no, and he's not really mentioned it too much. But today was the first indication, Mike, for me, that we might just be nearing the end, which I think is right and natural.
Yeah, I'd like to see him go out like that, to be totally honest. Yeah. You know me, I've been sat on the fence for a lot of the time, but you know, I pay money to watch this team. And I'm not getting value for my money at the moment. That's how I feel. You know, I'm not going to walk away, and I'll still be there supporting them ever, because you know, I've been through a whole lot worse than this over the years. This is you know, this is nothing. I mean, I followed them. We've been up and down. And but you know, people talk about the West Ham way and things like that, but you know, I remember us winning games 5-3, losing games 5-3. You know, there was always, you know what I mean? There was always entertainment, and you were getting value for money. But this sort of football, you know, the fan, the normal fan, and you know, just wants to turn up on a Saturday or Sunday and, you know, get out of themselves a little bit. You know, they want to get away from the flipping misses or, you know, work and get into a different environment, have a couple of beers, watch a game and be entertained. But the fans just aren't being entertained at the moment.
No, we're not. And look, that scenario that I painted there was probably the realistic scenario. Listen, I'm annoyed and I'm just about done with it. Listen, if I had my way, I'd shake Moyes' hand tomorrow and say thank you very much. But we'd like the club to go in a different direction now and get somebody in. Get the right man in, get the right appointment, and give him the rest of the season, and then try and push forward with a different ethos, philosophy, and direction, and ambition as a football club next season, because you get that head start, then he gets the whole summer, will dilly-dally around and get an appointment in with like 2 weeks before the season starts, like we usually would, and they can't get their own players in, and then the excuse for the rest of the season is he hasn't got his own players, and then like you get a knock-on effect of just negativity then. But listen, that's what I would do. Some people agree, some people won't, but at the end of the day, I think that's slightly unrealistic unless we continue losing football matches, where that scenario may come a little bit more realistic, because we can't go on like this. We haven't won a game since the 28th of December, for God's sake. We're nearing March. If we don't beat Brentford, we'll be into March without losing a game in the whole calendar year. Listen, you can bring all the statistics you like, Mike. It's simply not good enough.
I think it'd be fan pressure in the end if we don't win these next 2 games. Can you imagine? It's Burnley.
Same date. Same date. 10th of May. I tell you what, it's like, honestly, there are scripts wrote in football, and that is a script right there.
Yeah. I can't see how he could lose those next 3 games and
still be in a job.
Something's got to happen then,
Yeah.
Jake, I'm the same as you. I'd love it if we did have some sort of, if he went out the proper way at the end of the season, as long as we got a plan put in place for a new man to come in. I would. I'd look and say, shake him by the hand and say, David, you've given us some good times. Thanks very much, but we got to move on. I'd love that to happen, but I could see it going horribly wrong, honestly, these next 3 or 4 games. And I don't see how he survives that.
Absolutely. With this game against Brentford, I'm not expecting much. And then we're going up to Everton. There'll be 3,000 there. And do you know what? If things go as expected and as they have done over the last 2 months, then that's going to get seriously nasty in there. Seriously nasty. I mean, we saw shades of it in Nottingham Forest last weekend towards the end, but I think that'll be from the start, if I'm being totally honest. And these fans have had enough. Now, listen, there are a percentage of the fan base that want to stick with David Moyes, and listen, they're inclined to their opinion. Absolutely, everyone's entitled to their opinion if they're a fan of this football club, and listen, you do you, whatever. But I think I speak for probably the majority of the away contingent when you say most of them want a change. And Mike, as well as I do, is they're not afraid to make their voice heard, and if it continues, all the games are going to become nasty, and those banners and flags are going to be made, and it's just not going to be nice, is it?
No, and we don't want to see that really, but well, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that happen. Like I say, I'd like him to go out with, even if it's a mediocre season. I mean, 5 more wins, 15 more points, 50 odd points. I'd take that, and I think he could go out with his head held high-ish then, and say, realistically, he has won something, and we haven't, for us, first time in 43 years. And then he could go out and say, well, I did a job there.
Yeah.
And the fans could also appreciate that as well. I think most of the proper fans would. But I'm afraid they ain't going to take 3 more defeats.
Something's got to give.
Something will have to happen then. Yeah.
We're playing 3 of the bottom 5 or something. Brentford are down there, I think. Everton are down there. Burnley are down there. Something's got to give if we don't win these games. I'm sorry. We can have respect for Moyes, and listen, I haven't lost respect for what for that Prague night and for those European adventures. I think that will forever be instilled in me. But look, I can damn get annoyed, and I can damn want him to leave, because that's my opinion, and I'm allowed it. And look, at the end of the day, I'm not happy with what I'm seeing. You know, Mike, you alluded to it earlier, is that you're paying your money, I'm paying my money. And if I'm not getting entertained, and if I'm not happy, I naturally want to change. You know, and in modern day football, if you go around the other 20 clubs in this league and say you're not going to win a game in 8, you could be playing this style of football, the majority of managers wouldn't be in a job now. The majority wouldn't be in a job. I'd say probably 75% would have sacked their manager at the very least. He's still here. He's clinging on. We saw the first sign today of perhaps the beginning of the end. But at the end of the day, Mike, it's still a precarious position where I think Moyes is just a little bit too comfortable with his feet under the desk currently. And I don't think he quite understands the severity of our awful run of form.
Yeah, we're not playing well. I look at Luton, they're playing better than us. You know, they have a go. You know, even Sheffield United, you know, let's face it, we should have battered them. I mean, we've got a lot more quality than that. And all these pundits that say, be careful what you wish for and blah, blah, blah. Now, hang on. We spent, I think, the 6th or 7th most amount of money over the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, we've got the 2nd biggest stadium in the country. We got a massive following. I mean, we finished 6th and 7th. I know the first time in ages and ages, but that's what we were promised when we went over there.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, all these pundits are saying that they don't follow West Ham. They don't watch them week in, week out. We watch every minute, second of every game, and we know what we're seeing. They're just, you know, honestly, the arrogance in some of them at times just does my head in. It really does. Be careful what you wish for. Hang on a minute. Can't us smaller teams, so-called smaller teams that are not in the big 6, you know, have a dream, you know, and want something a bit better? Of course we can. That's what football's all about.
Do you know what, Michael? I 100% agree with you. I don't think I've quite seen you so agitated on a live stream before. You know, you really wanted to get that off your chest, didn't you?
Honestly, mate, they do my head in, some of these pundits. You know, you get that prat like flipping Sutton and
Sutton,
you know,
idiot.
I know O'Hara, he's just a wind-up merchant. You know, he just But you know, that's, you know, they're winning, isn't they?
Absolutely. You know, if everybody's quote tweeting it and watching it and commenting on it, then they've done their job, haven't they? Yeah. Oh, exactly. You know, Mike, I echo your sentiment and words 100%. I made a 15-minute video about it a couple of days ago, pretty much saying what you've just said. And look, a little bit of my respect for Jeff Stelling went after that video with Nicky, actually, because do you know what? I thought Nicky handled himself really, really well, and I thought Jeff was quite poor in that, actually. Because I'd have turned around and went, hang on. And to be fair, what Nicky said, the best thing he said in that interview was, do you know what, Jeff? I'll buy you a ticket for the next 3 games. You come and watch West Ham, and then we'll have a chat after, and we'll see whether we have the same opinion. And I make him 100% right on that fact. And, you know, these pundits can go and watch West Ham once a month when we're on Sky. But believe me, they haven't got to watch it every week. And
did you hear the comments of my favourite pundit?
Graham Souness was standing up for us.
My old mate, Graham Souness. Well, I'll take my hat off to him, and I'll take a lot of things back what I've said about Graham Souness in the past. He actually understands.
Yeah.
He actually understands.
Absolutely. Yeah, fair play to him. I listened to it on TalkSport, and, you know, Jim White was a little bit bemused, sat there watching. Actually, he was a bit like, oh, okay, this isn't what's on the narrative sheet. And do you know what? Fair play. Absolutely fair play to him. Right, let's take some comments to see what you guys are saying. In terms of Moyes, football, Brownie says, I think he's lying, or at best he's playing with a troop. Yeah, I think there's an element of deception in there. Listen, I can't imagine there's a contract already on the table and we're waiting for him to make his decision. That's just lunacy if that is the case. And I think he's probably using a little bit of a mirror and a bit of smoke there. I think Moyes. I don't think there's 100% truth in that. Brighton are beating under 21s. Unfortunately, Steve reckons we're too nice. They've turned my club into a clown town. Moyes couldn't run a bath is a comment of the night. Moyes couldn't run a bath. And yeah, look, I can sit here and I can, you know, calmly look back at what he said today and reflect on his time. But in the heat of the moment at Everton, if we're 1-0 down next week, I'm not going to be happy. The fans aren't happy collectively. And listen, today I think has been quite a good day because we all love the cup draw. Everyone just gets a little bit more excited about it. And it's probably distanced ourselves from the negativity that's continued on for a couple of weeks, really, probably since the Arsenal games. We've had a bit of a better day today in terms of morale in the fan base because of the draw and the excitement of booking flights and all the rest of it. But I think it'll all come crashing down 8 o'clock Monday.
It could do, mate. Yeah, it could do. I hope it doesn't. I really don't, because I've never wished us to lose a game. And I've heard some people saying, "I hope we lose and then you get a boot and what have you." But no, I can't. I can't not want us to win a game.
No, exactly. Get him out of my club now, says Bob. Peter says we will lose both Brentford and Everton games and the first leg against Freiburg. Be lucky to get 5 points, 5 more points under Moyes, let alone 5 more wins. Right, come on, you like the fence, Mike, don't you? One word, Moyes.
I'm afraid, mate. I'll tell you what. I'll give him one more game.
Oh, he's giving him one more game. I'm going to come back to that because you like that fence. You like perching on the fence, Mike, don't you? You're not sure, are you?
Honestly, mate, I can't see us getting anything against Brentford at all. So me giving him one more game is a joke, because I'm not really giving him one more game.
Go on, say it. Come on, just say it.
Yeah, mate, it's wearing thin, mate. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm there now. I've tilted off the edge of the fence, I reckon.
So you're Moyes.
He's got to go.
He won't bet. You're Moyes. You're Moyes.
I'm not out.
Out. Thank you. We got there. I've done it. There we go. Moyes. Peter's Moyes out. Beat that. Moyes is asleep at the moment. We can't beat an egg or a rug. Beat a rug. I get the beat an egg bit. I don't get the rug. Beat a rug. Is that a saying?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the egg one I know, but I've got another thing.
Okay. I've switched on.
Move on.
Yeah, swiftly. I've made myself look a right prat there. Thanks, Peter. Right, to round up, Moyes' contract is on the table, according to him and him only, by all accounts. Currently, Paqueta is in contention for the Brentford game. Is he 100% there, or is Moyes rushing him back? I don't know. And we are playing SC Freiburg once again. 4 times we'd have played him this season. Come the end, of course, another 2 legs against them. In the last 16, we avoided Milan, we avoided Rome, we avoided Azerbaijan. We have SC Freiburg in the last 16. That rounds up the West Ham news show. Mike, any further comments?
No, mate. Like I said, I really wish us to lose a game, but I just can't see us getting anything out of these next two games. And then I reckon the Burnley game is going to be absolutely huge.
Yeah, for sure. Back at home, sold out apparently. And bring on the next joke, and look, we'll see what happens. Tony says, I think the terms of the new contract he does not like, that's why he's holding up, because probably the terms on the new contract is leave. Probably that's the terms of the contract, and that's probably why he doesn't like it too much. Roundup is 2 or 3-0 to Brentford to keep their 100% record in the league since they got promoted. Yeah, sounds about right. It's got the inevitability of last season when we played them at home. I was actually on a flight back home from our Christmas cruise when we played them last year, 29th of December or something. We lost 2-0. Tony scored. I have £2 on that again on Monday. And we were in a dire place then, not as bad as now, but it was inevitable that we were going to lose. And I got off the flight and they were winning 2-0. I went, yeah, there we go. It's got that same sort of feel about it again, Mike, hasn't it? Same as last season against them.
Oh, they're so infuriating to play against, though.
Yeah, true.
You know, that bloke takes a long throw and then he goes to take it. And you know very well he's not going to take it because he's going to waste another 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, going backwards and forwards a couple of times. And then he humps it in the box and they just time waste. And they're so infuriating to play against. But they got some good players.
Yeah.
You know, and let's face it, you know, you put Tony in, if in most teams, most top 6 teams, and be a decent player. And they've got players that are, yeah, I mean, they have a go. They have a proper go. They do it in their own way, but they have a proper go at you.
Yeah, they do. They do. Listen, they've struggled this season, of course, without their star man, Ivan Toney, that's now back involved. Has that made a huge difference? I don't know. I think we'll find out Monday when we play them. But look, we will see what happens. We'll do a preview over the weekend for the game. But until then, thank you very much indeed for watching. I'm going to enjoy my West Ham free weekend. I'm going to get up relatively early tomorrow to watch a bit of the cricket. You ain't catching me at 4 a.m, that's for sure. But I'm going to get up relatively early. I'm going to get up about 8, Mike. And Root's going to be on about 220. We're going to be about 400 for 8. Yeah, about 400 on for 8, I reckon. But yeah, all good. Mike, any final thoughts?
No, mate. No. Big day for me tomorrow. President's Day with the old boys.
Do you get a free pint as an ex-player, or is there a sort of cut-off limit of that?
Well, I'll get a free pint anyway, won't
I? He does what he wants. He's the president.
Only got
he does what he
behind
wants.
the bar, haven't I?
Well, very good point. I didn't take that into consideration, did I? I'll have your free pint as an ex-player.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you very much, Mike. I anticipate I'll see you tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure, but I will potentially see you tomorrow over there. Thanks everybody for watching in the chat. Drop a like, subscribe, become a member, donate if you want. If you don't, no worries. And until the next one, from me and Mike, come on you Irons. And Moyes. And Mike, you are Moyes.
At.
We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.